Also keep in mind that Donald Trump is the president who pushed for and succeeded in implementing Operation Warp Speed during the coronavirus pandemic, which ensured that a vaccine would be rolled out. If you know anything about RFK Jr., it's that he is against vaccines. And so this endorsement is a little strange. In that same Twitter post, by the way, he also wrote that President Trump bragged about arming Ukraine more than Obama did. He also walked away unilaterally from the intermediate range nuclear missile treaty with Russia, destabilizing our relationship. He also exacerbated tensions between Ukraine and Russia that ultimately caused a war. And look, these are issues that he's been speaking out about. These are issues that he purports to care about. These are issues that he felt that Donald Trump failed in basically responding to.
Everybody, even Democrats, are now dropping out of the 2024 presidential race, including RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard. And of course, the woke left just can't handle it. They are absolutely melting down. In particular, in this video, we're going to go over Cenk and Ana Kasparian and the Young Turks melting down over RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard dropping out of the race and endorsing Donald Trump. And apparently there's going to be a lot more Democrats that are going to endorse Donald Trump. And also, we've also had breaking news that RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard will be a part of Donald Trump's official presidential team, a part of his actual presidential transition team, as Donald Trump put it. Let's get into this clip here from the Young Turks, from Ana Kasparian and Cenk absolutely having a meltdown over RFK Jr. and people like Tulsi Gabbard and the rest of these Democrats who are turning on their party and endorsing Donald Trump. Let's check it out.
Independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced Friday he is suspending his campaign and supporting the former president.
Our polling consistently showed that by staying on the ballot in the battleground states, I would likely hand the election over to the Democrats, with whom I disagree on the most existential issues.
Third-party candidate RFK Jr. has dropped out of the presidential race and endorsed Donald Trump, who just back in May, he accused of scamming American workers while enriching big agricultural companies. Now, RFK joined Trump during his packed rally in Arizona over the weekend. Now, remember, RFK Jr. first ran as a Democrat, then as an independent, before finally turning on the Democrats entirely in order to endorse Donald Trump, which is kind of weird considering all of the things that RFK Jr. had to say about Trump not a few years ago. Like literally this year, just a few months ago. So in a lengthy Twitter post on May 26th of this year, he put this out. President Trump scam.
By the way, this is how politics work. It blows my mind that people like Ana Kasparian and like Cenk continue to be shocked at this. When people, I remember when The View and Whoopi Goldberg and them were shocked that Nikki Haley was endorsing Donald Trump after talking so much about Donald Trump. That's the game of politics. They're all trying to win. They're all trying to make the other side look worse than them. So of course they're going to say certain things, but at the end of the day, if you actually want the country to get better, if you actually want the best for the United States of America, you're not just going to selfishly take away votes from the side that you agree with a whole lot more. So people like Nikki Haley, people like RFK Jr., people like Tulsi Gabbard, and many more to come apparently are endorsing Donald Trump because they understand if Kamala Harris wins, if Ana Kasparian and Cenk and the Young Turks side wins, there's going to be big problems for the country, even bigger than there are currently. So they're, for the greater good, putting aside their differences and endorsing the candidate that is the lesser of two evils in their eyes. This is not mind-blowing stuff. This isn't rocket science. This is just how politics has always worked. And for people who cover politics for a living to be shocked at this over and over again, kind of mind-blowing a little bit.
Scammed American workers. He promised to bring back manufacturing, raise wages, fix trade deals, close the carried interest loophole, and help small farmers. But everything President Trump achieved were things the Republican machine wanted. We got a tax cut for Jeff Bezos, deregulation for special interests, and giveaways to agriculture conglomerates. Also keep in mind that Donald Trump is the president who pushed for and succeeded in implementing Operation Warp Speed during the coronavirus pandemic, which ensured that a vaccine would be rolled out. If you know anything about RFK Jr., it's that he is against vaccines. And so this endorsement is a little strange. In that same Twitter post, by the way, he also wrote that President Trump bragged about arming Ukraine more than Obama did. He also walked away unilaterally from the intermediate range nuclear missile treaty with Russia, destabilizing our relationship. He also exacerbated tensions between Ukraine and Russia that ultimately caused a war. And look, these are issues that he's been speaking out about. These are issues that he purports to care about. These are issues that he felt that Donald Trump failed in basically responding to.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
But we're going to go to a Fox News video where he's confronted by his change of heart, or about his change of heart. But before we get to that, Cenk.
Yeah, look, I hate every part of the RFK Jr. stories, and I'm conflicted on all fronts. So here's what I mean. So on the one hand, I always thought RFK Jr. was more right-wing than left-wing these days. Yes, his career has been mainly left-wing, and I appreciate that, and I've talked about that. We interviewed him about
that. That's also, Cenk, that's a huge part to the left wing, to your side, to people like you and Ana Kasparian and the Young Turks fans and all of these people, shifting what it means to be left wing. Our RFK Jr., in my opinion, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but RFK Jr. to me seems like a traditional Democrat, a traditional liberal, somebody like that agrees heavily with people like Joe Rogan and Russell Brand, people who were left wing, people who were self-identified as liberal, now pushed out. And I mean, everybody labels Joe Rogan and Russell Brand as far right, but they're not even close to far right. They're not even right wing, in my opinion. They are classic liberals, in my opinion. And I think RFK Jr. would also classify as that too. But what left wing is nowadays, what Democrats stand for, is just not what they stood for yesterday. You know, it changes so rapidly. It's becoming this insane thing that if you don't one up your wokeness from yesterday, then you're kicked out of the party. You're kicked out of the group. And that's what happened to people like RFK, where he's just standing there like, hey guys, I'm the same thing that I was 20, 30 years ago, but you're way over there. So I can't be with you. I can't support you because you're absolutely insane now.
it. But the anti-vaccine stuff, the massively pro-Israel bomb Gaza stuff, just every part of it that wasn't actually like policy that was progressive seemed rhetorically, politically leaning right-wing. And so you know, Democrats these days, they don't want people like Bobby Kennedy Jr. And that's, you know, you could argue that's more on the Democrats than it is on RFK. Okay, on the other hand, brother, you started in the Democratic primary this time around, and now you're endorsing Trump. So look, I get it, the Democrats are jerks to you. No one understands that better than me. One, because I've covered it for 25 years. Two, because I lived it. I went in the primary, they were jerks to me. So they have a terrible process. It wasn't democratic at all. They're totally biased. They always support the incumbents, etc. I get it.
Maybe it's not anything to do with like personal vendetta of RFK not liking the Democrats or being mistreated by the Democrats. Maybe it has something to do with the Democratic candidate being so bad, being so awful that he has no choice but to endorse Donald Trump. Maybe it has something to do with people like Cenk and Ana Kasparian going so far woke, going so far left, and people like Kamala Harris having to follow suit because if they don't, they won't get elected. They won't even have a chance. That RFK Jr. is just like, I have no choice but to support Donald Trump because it's just in the best interest of the country. Maybe that's the case. Maybe it's not a personal vendetta thing. Let me know in the comments what you think.
That didn't magically make me change all of my opinions about policy.
Hey, don't scroll away.
I'm sorry, I'm scrolling away, man.
Certainly forget that you're unhappy with how Trump responded to these issues or how he handled these issues, right? And look, I actually do think that part of what's motivating RFK Jr. is the fact that he's furious with the Democratic Party. And something that I know from personal experience is Democrats can't wait to purge you from the party, right?
Yeah.
Like it's an exclusive club. Whereas the Republican Party, they jump in it. Like the second someone is purged from the Democrats, that person who's been purged is going to get emails, tweets, direct messages, super welcoming from the Republican side because they understand politics and they understand power and they understand building a broad coalition in order to win. They want to win.
Yeah. Well, that goes to my point, Anna, which is that this seems like it's personal now, right?
It is. I think it is. Yeah.
So, guys, I loathe the DNC. Not only do they always fight against progressives, they're massively biased, and they're also dumb. You drove him out from the party. and now he's supporting Trump. How'd that work out for you?
They should
strategically stupid at all turns, right?
Yeah, we are seeing, we've always been saying that this cancel culture stuff is going to end up biting the Democrats and the woke left in the ass. It's going to end up biting people like Ana Kasparian and like Cenk in the ass. Now we're kind of seeing that all come full circle, I think, because at the time that the Young Turks recorded this video, Tulsi Gabbard, I don't think had endorsed Trump yet. So they were just talking about RFK here. Now we also have Tulsi Gabbard who endorsed Donald Trump. We have Donald Trump coming out and announcing that RFK and Tulsi Gabbard will both be on the presidential transition team. And there's rumors, a lot of them, saying that even more Democrats are going to come out and endorse Donald Trump. The world is kind of falling apart for Cenk and Ana Kasparian, and they just can't handle it. They're blaming it on personal vendettas against the Democratic Party instead of just coming to the conclusion that our candidate is just not able to compete with Donald Trump or in the brains of people who actually care about the future of the United States. Let me know in the comments what you think about this video here from the Young Turks of Ana Kasparian and Cenk losing their minds over RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard and all these Democrats endorsing Donald Trump. Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole the Young Turks versus RFK Jr. situation.